Welcome. My name is Anthony Patch, and providing you today's science headlines. We're going to be talking a little bit about nuclear warheads in Syria, specifically in Turkey, but involving Syria. No, there's no bombing going on, but we do have some updates regarding the situation there. But I'm going to be focusing in on the technology of nuclear warheads as they pertain to what is stored in Turkey at the U.S. Air Base there in Sirlik is our U.S. Air Force base in the heart of Turkey itself. We're going to be reviewing some of the controversial aspects of those nukes remaining in Turkey. And this is a conversation, this is a debate that's been going on for several years. And I would like to start off with the announcement just came through about 5 hours ago that Vice President Pence announces Turkey has agreed to temporary ceasefire in Syria. And this is coming to us by way of Axios. So this is a 10-day ceasefire. Mike Pence and Secretary of State Pompeo were in Turkey to negotiate this. And Pompeo's on his way to meet with Netanyahu tomorrow, on Friday, as we are doing this broadcast on Thursday, the 17th of October. So for caravanners, this may be coming out next week. It'll be old news for you, I guess, unless it's broadcast tomorrow. Not sure exactly when it will be broadcast, this news segment. But things are a little fluid. We're kind of getting the logistics sorted out with me as the science officer over there with John B. Wells. But at any rate, that's good news that Vice President Pence and Secretary of State Pompeo have been able to negotiate that ceasefire. I'll be going through that with my patrons this evening in our live stream for the balance of the 2-hour live stream to discuss the details and my commentary on this ceasefire and what it may portend, but also what it means to have nuclear warheads, 50 of them, stored in Turkey at our U.S. Air Base. And what is the strategic implications for those warheads at this particular time? Okay, so another touch point, another reference for you is dated November of 2017, but still germane to today's events. This comes to us from Arms Control Association. U.S. nuclear weapons in Turkey raise alarm. And back in November of 2017, I'll just give you the first paragraph. Deteriorating relations between the United States and Turkey have prompted a growing debate about the wisdom of maintaining U.S. tactical nuclear weapons in the Incirlik Air Base in southern Turkey, and more broadly about whether to remove all such weapons from Europe. So as you can see, this is nothing new, this debate, and it actually extends back even further than 2017. But this is a very touchy issue because you may have already heard earlier this week that Turkey was threatening to hold these weapons hostage. Now, this is a joint operation between the United States and the Turkish armed forces, but make no mistake about it, the United States Air Force, their security forces, are the ones responsible for maintaining absolute control over these weapons, not the Turks. And this is U.S. property. Therefore, it is quite remarkable to hear a NATO ally, Turkey, saying that they're going to hold our weapons hostage. Well, hopefully that's calmed down now that we have a 10-day ceasefire that's been announced, that's been negotiated. Again, the details will follow in the live stream. Now, I'd like to take you back to 2018. In March of 2018, this comes to us by way of Debka Weekly, and this is entitled, "The U.S. No Longer Needs Incirlik Air Base or a Turkish Ally." And pictured here is Russian President Vladimir Putin shaking hands with Erdogan and celebrating the purchase by Turkey of the S-400 anti-aircraft missile system. So it begs the question, why is Turkey still a NATO member? Why haven't the members excommunicated from NATO, Turkey itself? Because understand, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization exists for the purpose of defending the NATO allies, greater Western Europe, from Russia. And now you have a NATO member who has purchased a Russian missile defense system. Rather strange bedfellows, to say the least. Now, this is from October of this year, this article from Federation of American Scientists. Their headline is, Urgent, Move U.S. Nuclear Weapons Out of Turkey. Now, these are specifically the B-61 nuclear bomb. I was stationed in the 70s in West Germany, when it still was East and West Germany, and was responsible for W-70 nuclear weapons, and I'll be sharing that with the patrons this evening, what the comparison between these weapon systems are. But there are 50, and again, I'm citing the source here, is the Federation of American Scientists, 50 B-61 nuclear bombs stored at Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. And we'll be going through the details of what they have to say on that. Now, here's a tweet that came out today, and this has to do with the security forces at the airbase. At Incirlik, the 31st Security Forces Squadron from Aviano, Italy, were also deployed to Incirlik, Turkey, to beef up nuclear security in response to, quote, regional turmoil and government instability, according to a U.S. Air Force source. This was just posted on the 15th. Continuing in this, nuclear surety inspections at Incirlik, Turkey, include security police demonstration of, quote, recapture and recover team tactics in case a nuclear weapon is stolen. Now, this comes under the heading of this holding of U.S. nuclear warheads hostage by the Turkish military. So there were additional forces that were deployed from Italy to bolster those security forces at Incirlik. And when they talk about nuclear surety inspections, this is S-U-R-E-T-Y, not security, but surety. And this is the same system that I was involved with in West Germany, was nuclear surety program. So we'll be detailing what all that entails from a first-hand perspective of my own that continues today. Basically, it hasn't really changed in terms of the procedures for securing these weapons. Although in Incirlik, unlike West Germany, we had them in above-ground bunkers. They are, at least in Turkey, they are below ground. Okay? Now, interestingly, the nuclear security, not surety, but nuclear security at Incirlik, Turkey, has been somewhat compromised because the $44 million nuclear security intrusion detection system was transferred to the Turkish Ministry of Defense to improve external security of the airbase. Again, this was posted on the 15th. So, really strange goings on there, and in fact, it's also indicated from this source from William Arkin on Twitter that the base had 3,500 law enforcement incidents of all types just this year, with 19 of these requiring dispatching of mobile security teams. That's something that I had intimate experience with in West Germany. So, I just want to highlight to you that the B-61 nuclear bomb is not a very large device, if you will. I want to show you a picture of this device because, you know, we think of a nuclear bomb and we think of things like Hiroshima and Nagasaki with Big Boy and Fat Man and Little Boy. These are small devices, as you can see in this picture here. The one at the bottom was the W-70 that I was involved with in West Germany. This was on a Lance missile system on a mobile carrier. This is the B-63 of today, and very small, and is typically loaded into an F-15 or an F-16 fighter aircraft. So it doesn't require huge strategic bombers and that type of thing that you may be more familiar with. Okay? Let's see if we can show you here's an F-15 carrying one in the center here. These are wing tanks out here, but one device in the belly of the aircraft, and this is lifting off from Turkey. Okay? If you'd like to see an image of the airbase, it's fairly large, and this will give you an idea of what's going on, the scope and scale of things. This is a Google image that shows where the devices are stored. Again, they're underground, okay? But this is a NATO area. This is Incirlik Air Base in Turkey, and it's actually, surrounded by the greater metropolitan area. It's not way out in some desolate location. This is an image of what it looks like on the ground. You have the above ground shelters, but below grade are the weapons. And you can see here a C-17, and there's some activity here related to moving the warheads to the aircraft and security forces that are deployed. So just to give you kind of an idea, but this is a picture of where Incirlik Air Force Base is located in Turkey, and the remaining bases here, these are all NATO bases where nuclear warheads are presently deployed by U.S. forces. These are U.S. weapons deployed in Western Europe, and that includes in West Germany at Buchel Air Base and Ramstein Air Base. So that's just a quick snapshot of what's going on. The purpose of these headlines is for you to go and research any item of interest for yourself. If you'd like to join us in our live streams, you can go to Patreon, Anthony Patch, type it into the search engine. John B. Wells and I have been talking the last couple of days about more scheduling of these live streams and these news updates. I hope you find them informative. I don't cover a lot in 15 minutes, just give you the headlines, of course. But this may expand into a longer, broader conversation. And also, John and I are scheduling an opportunity for John to be a guest here on the Patreon live streams that we conduct 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 2 hours apiece, sometimes longer. But I'll let you know about that, and John will be joining in with a demographic, a group over on Patreon that is very much alike with you on Caravan to Midnight. So it just seems like a natural fit. And John and I have been friends for many years, and I've been a guest on his show many, many times, including Arc Midnight on Saturdays. So with that, we'll kind of wrap this one up very quick, fast-paced. Don't want to belabor the point too much. And welcome to Patreon. And I know that many people on Caravan to Midnight, the Caravanners, have already been contacting me by email and saying, this is a good fit. So thank you very much, and good evening.